Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday. Oh, Roxy's already here. Good morning. Yep, she's in cold and snowy Chicago. It is cold and snowy here also. Um, so my name is Tina Bickford. I am the Tatted Stamper. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Here in the US. I'm located in southern New Hampshire. Let's see. Yeah, so if you're here watching live, drop me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what the weather is like where you are. So we got some snow yesterday here. It was only supposed to be a coating to an inch, and then they upgraded it to an inch to 3 inches. And I think we probably ended up with 4 inches or something like that. Hi, Lisa. Lisa's joining us from North Carolina. It looks like it's partly sunny. And Sandra is joining us from Oklahoma. It's only 18 in Oklahoma. Oh my goodness. Truly. Yeah, so we're supposed to be, so they had, our next storm is coming in today. So I don't know, you guys, it's a big day for, New England, people in New England, because the Patriots are playing today. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal today. Today's a big day. So morning, Mom. Is Dad watching? Morning, Dad. Love you. So yeah, so that we were supposed to have this next storm that was coming in. They were saying that it was just gonna stay offshore just enough. It might graze the coast of New Hampshire, but it would have some snow down at Foxborough for the game. So cool. And then we got up this morning, and the storm actually shifted up. So we are now in the 2 to 4 inch range. Crazy. Lynn is joining us from southern New Hampshire. I always do that, Lynn. Southern New Jersey. I always want to say New Hampshire when I say New Jersey. Ugh. And she's saying hello to Mom. So last week we made the tower, diamond tower pop-up card. Is that what we called it? I don't remember. So we made that out of using some components from a tissue box, because tissue boxes are gorgeous. And I showed you the alternate card that I did from the paper pumpkin, the January paper pumpkin. Is it January? What even month are we in? Yeah. It's December's watercolor in bloom, honestly. Paper pumpkin cat. So I showed you one of the alternates, and then I showed you I also did a vertical version of it. So I was working with the watercolor in bloom, and this week was really, really busy at my day job. And so I couldn't get a lot of cards made. And I sat down yesterday for a little bit, a couple of hours yesterday. I sat down and I just started playing with the rest of that kit. Ironically, my January paper pumpkin kit arrived yesterday. So I wanted to show you a couple of things. I'm going to just, I can show you the January kit really quick to show you what's in there. I haven't even started playing around with that one yet. Lynn is saying that, yeah, we're going to get the snow that they talked about for you guys. You guys can keep it. You want it back? I'd happily send it in your direction. So I started just playing with that watercolor and bloom paper pumpkin kit, and I did a few more alternates. I really want to show you guys those alternates today. And we're going to make the card that we're going to make today is actually from that kit. I'm hoping maybe we can get 2 cards in, because if we get 2 cards in, it'll be the end of my December kit. And it will have been a total of 28 cards and all alternates. So I want to show you guys those, get to making the cards. Yeah. So let's switch down to the desk camera. Oh, Lynn is saying, we can keep it. Yeah. Dad's watching with you, Mom. Morning, Dad. All right, let's switch down to the desk camera. Yeah, button. Okay, there we go. So this is the card we did last week with that gold and that tissue box. There's the back, more tissue box on the back. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Sits like that. All that dimension. I love having those elements that pop right off the card. Now I'll say that when the card is open, it's delicate. So you want to just, they're delicate. So that's the one. This is the one I made from the cardstock, one of the card bases and one of the die cut elements from the kit. I still didn't do anything on the back. Go figure. And then this is the one that I did from the kit that was the vertical version. That one there. Okay. So let me show you what we're going to be working with today. Let me just set these aside. Actually, let me just in case you weren't here or watching last week, I just go over some of those really quick. This was that hexagon. This is the one like Dad made. That's Dad's card, and that's Dad's card with a little flower pot. So I actually made another one I'm going to show you guys today, also another alternate using the elements to make a flower pot. Where did that other hexagon one go? So there's the other hexagon. It is just going in that direction. And then I did the stack, that, and then this last one, which I did in the landscape mode. So that's those 3 there. Hey, Rhonda, thank you for joining. So then we have this one that I did using the negative and used one of those, one of these die cuts behind it. Had the envelope on the bottom to give that little bit there. And then this one of my favorites. And then this one, the little hanging plant pot. And then this one, and this one was, these 2 were inspired by cards from Lori Perez. So this one here, she did hers this way, which was a gorgeous card. So I did that one, and then the little side easel card. That one. So these were the ones that I showed last week when I made the tower card. And then we're going to do these all out of the way here. This out of the way. Okay, so I've done a couple of fun folds, my own, creation, whatever you want to call it, my own, I came up with them or whatever. And one of them, this is not a fun fold, but this is an original design. So this was, I called this the blooming envelope, and I'm just going to do, I'm going to do it a little bit different. So when I did the blooming envelope the last time, I don't know if I have one handy. I took the envelope piece which is this piece here. I took this piece of the envelope and put it on the card this way. And the flaps, so the envelopes that I used, the flaps were actually the decorative part of the envelope. So I tucked the flap behind. I know that's hard to see because it's all white. So I tucked the flap behind, and then I just kind of tucked things into the envelope. And, you know, I raised this bottom half of the envelope up on dimensionals so that it looked like it was an open envelope. So I'm going to do something a little bit different because for this envelope, it's not this part that's decorative or the flap, it's this part. So I wanted to use this. And this one I figured I would just do something simple with this one with just some stamping. So I have my card base, and my card base is just standard 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4 and folded and burnished. And then for the envelope, I've only got, for this kit, I only have a few more components to this kit. I think I've got 3 envelopes left after this and some bits and pieces. So what I did for this is I took on my trimmer and I trimmed just the fold off of this. So like a 1/16 of an inch here on each side. And then I did the same thing off the bottom. And what that did was it gave me the 3 pieces. Well, it gave me 2 pieces, sorry. The back part and the front part. And then I trimmed the flap off the envelope. And then I trimmed the whole thing down. So I just took, this is the front part of the envelope here. I just trimmed this down so that it's 5 3/8. I want it to fit on my card. And then I took this piece here, which was left, and I trimmed this down to 4 1/8. So I can put that right on the card just like that. Then I thought I wanted to do something with that envelope flap. So similar but different to my blooming envelope card, I'm going to use the flap. I'm going to pop the flap up on dimensionals. Now this is envelope paper, so it's very thin. So what I did was I cut a strip of white cardstock that is, well, it's like 1 inch by the 5 3/8, and I just adhered it to the back of the flap. It's going to give me a place where I can put dimensionals where it's got a little bit of weight, and we're going to do that, put that there. So I thought we could just stamp on the envelope itself, and we can put a sentiment on there. Now originally I was thinking that I would take the thank you from this paper pumpkin and I would just pop it down here and stamp thank you there, and then decorate the flap. But now I'm thinking I might like to put a sentiment up here on the flap and stamp with like some flowers or something, maybe this small flower down here. We could even put some die cut flowers on here. Maybe we'll do that. All right, so I want a bigger sentiment than this because it's going to be my whole flap. So I'm actually going to pull this I appreciate you right out of this Impressions of Bloom. And let's put that on. Wow, you can tell the ones that I've used, and I haven't, they're all like, I need to clean these because they're not sticking. So I need to clean those, and I will, just not right now. Okay, put that on there. And I think what I want to do for this, I really want to pull that blue out of here. So I'm just going to grab my Night of Navy. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment right on that flap. And try to center it. This is how I get ink all over my fingers. Wipe it on your pants. Okay, so let's pull that close. Straight up and down, don't rock the stamp. And there you go. Pretty. There. And then I think I'll stamp a few things on here. So let's get this, put that out of the way. I'm just going to grab a piece of grid paper to use just as scrap because I'm going to stamp off. I am going to grab my little flower stamp. I'm going to stamp some flowers on here. And I'm going to stamp them right in the Night of Navy. Well, let's put one here. Put one down here. That, and we'll even put one kind of off like that. Okay, and then we're going to use our fill-in stamp, and this is the one that I'm gonna stamp off onto my grid paper just to lighten it up. And I need to find which way that lines up. Lines up that way, right there. Oh, and we colored that flower right in. Okay, stamp off. And do the same thing here. And fill that one in, and one more, kind of a half one there. And then I'm just gonna take, I did not clean very well, so grab a baby wipe. And just clean that stamp off, just that block off just a bit too. And then I'm going to grab the small center, and I think I'm going to, let's do, staying with kind of the bluish but a little bit darker, I'm just going to come in with the Secret C and do that flower center like full strength. There. Kind of like a grayish blue. Cute. And what else? I think we'll just stop there. All right, keep that out of the way. Now you can do the same thing. You can put like on your envelope flap, you could put some more stamping on there. I think there's quite a bit going on the bottom of the card, so we'll leave it at that. I'm just going to grab my card, make sure it's upright, and I'm going to put this on with my seal adhesive. Like so. Perfect. And then I'm going to grab some dimensionals, which are here. And I'm just going to pop some dimensionals on here So quick and easy. This one's just quick and easy. We'll add some embellishments. Oops, I'm going to turn my card this way so I can see that edge. Like that. Perfect. Looks like just like a little envelope. And then grab those. I'm just going to grab those. I swear, it's like they multiply. I feel like I'm using them up, but man, just keep. Let's see. Let's put one here. And then we'll do, oops, two up here. Like that. Good. Just a cute little card using that envelope. I may make a couple more of these with those other envelopes then, and then I would get even more cards. So there's that one, quick and easy. Just trimming down that envelope a little bit, stamping, get one little piece of, one little strip of cardstock just to keep this. Now, if you didn't want to put the flap up on dimensionals, you could just glue it right down. You wouldn't need that extra little piece of cardstock. That's just to give it a little bit of body under those dimensionals. How stinking cute is that? And you could put a dimensional here too to keep that up. Maybe I'll do that. One there, just to kind of keep that up. Like so. A little bit of there. Cool. Fun. Yeah, and you could stamp some more stuff up there if you want. It's just there's an awful lot going on down here at the bottom. So I think I'm going to leave that like that. And then let me just get some of these stamps. What is going on here? I guess when I said I had to clean my stamps, I should have just done it before the video. All right, just throw these in here. And then we're going to move on to our second card. So there's that one. Cute. Set that one aside. Set these aside. Okay. So one of the other card style that I came up with, I think I called it the diagonal open front card. It's super cute. Super cute. So we're going to start with, I'm just going to bring in all of this stuff. All right. This is what I'm starting with. Okay. My card base is, this is just, we're back to the whole basic 8.5 by 5.5. We're going to score this at 4 1/4. I didn't do any of this yet. Score this at 4 1/4. And give that, oops, nice burnish there. All right. And then we're going to, I'm going to take one of those other card bases. This is the blue to green. I like, this is like the garden green, and you got pretty peacock in here, and I'm going to, did I cut this one down already? I did. Okay. So this one I cut down to 4 inches by, put that in there so you can see that. Oh, you can't really see that very well with that. So 4 inches by 5 1/4. Okay. Now I want this to be, I'm going to have this is going to be a vertical card. So I want to, before I cut anything here, I want to decide which way I want this, the color do I want the blue on top of the green? So I've already decided that I wanted the blue for what we're doing here. And to me, this just looks like, I mean, this just looks like, you know, grass to sky, you know, it's very pretty. So I'm going to be doing that. So we are going to grab our pencil. All right, the diagonal open front card. This is the one that has a little wedge here that I flipped around and I put over here on the bottom. Or you can do this also the other way, and then this piece would be, you know, over on the left-hand side of the card. So I'm going to mark this. I'm going to take my paper trimmer, line it up with the well, and you can do this with a ruler. Why don't we do it with a ruler? You can probably see that a little bit better. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to mark it at 1 1/4 inches. So I'm just going to line that up with the 1 1/4 inches, and I'm going to mark the top of that card. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my layer. I'm going to mark that at 1 1/4 inches on what I consider the top as well. So that's my blue. Now, if you didn't want to have your pencil mark here, you can just flip it over, but make sure that you put your mark on the other side. Okay, just make sure you put your mark on the other side. Now we're going to cut from this mark down to this corner, and we're going to do the same thing on our card base. So I'm going to take my card base and I'm going to line up. I don't have this zoomed in either. See if I can zoom that in for you. Okay. This one, and I'm just going to zoom down. All right, I'll try to move it down here out of the way of the light. Okay, so I'm just going to take this, a little bit too much there. Oh, here we go, moving everything. All right, I'm going to line up this corner. Let me zoom back out so you can actually see all of it. I think you can see that. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to line up this corner here. Here is my mark. This is the top of my card. So here is my little 1 1/4 inch mark. So I'm going to line up this corner right in that cutting channel, and I'm going to hold it with my finger. And that's going to allow me to rotate this. I mean, obviously you can't rotate it a mile, so you want to be somewhere close, but it'll allow me to rotate this so that I can get that mark right in the cutting track. I'm going to hold that. My point stayed right in that track, and I'm just going to come down and I'm going to cut just like that. Now, if you can still see your pencil mark, you can just go ahead and erase it. Okay, set those aside. I'm going to do the same thing for this. Now, if I had done the same, I would measure it in 1 1/4 inch here on the front, and then I'm going to cut down here. So because I'm doing it kind of backwards, I'm going to flip this over, but we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to line up this corner here in my cutting track, and I'm going to hold that with my finger, and I'm just going to gently rotate that top until my line comes right in. Move my cutting blade up. I don't want to be cutting into a corner. I want to cut into that straight part of the cardstock. So just check that again. Hold that down and cut down. Okay, so now I have these two pieces like this. Okay, zoom back out. Ooh, zoom too much. You can see all my mess. Okay, so we're going to take those pieces and set those aside. All right. This piece, I'm going to layer on this one. So I'm going to need to cut some off of this. It depends on what I want my border to be. So I just kind of, I'm going to line it up here, hold that just about where I think I want my border to be. And for me, I thought rather than doing measurements and all that crazy, I just came in and just marked it with a little tiny pencil mark. Line that. It's much quicker than doing the math. So I'm just going to go ahead and line that up. Pencil mark is right there. I'm making sure this is straight to that nearest mark. Because I'm not going to, yep, okay. And I'm just going to put my track down. I'm holding pressure here so that I am holding on to that cardstock, and I'm just slowly coming down there. Now, when I put this on, it will have a nice even border all the way around. Okay, this piece here that came off of our card base is 5.5 inches long. We're going to spin it and have it come up this way, like this. So we want it only to be 4.25 inches long. So I'm just going to put this in at the 4.25 and trim that little edge off. Now, if I'm taking this piece here and I'm layering that on there, it's too long. So I'm going to need to trim that one off as well. So this one, you can just come in, whatever is easiest. I'm just going to come in, hold this. Again, you can do all of the measurements and, you know, whatever. But I'm just going to come in here and snip that end like that. And I'm going to get this piece that I'm going to layer. Okay. Move that up there and let's start putting some of this together. All right, get this. What do I have on that card? All right, do that. Come in with my liquid glue. Like so. And I'm just going to put that on there. Like that. And I'm going to now layer this part, this small piece, onto the white. Like that. And now this piece here is going to go on here, just like this. That's how this one's going to go. So I'm just going to flip this around this way. And you can do whatever trick helps you put. You want to make sure that you don't put glue, you know, anywhere over here where it's going to glue your card shut. So what I do, you can do the Post-it trick where you come in and, you know, line this up here where you're going to, and then you can see all, you can do that. Excuse me. For this card, I just always found it easier to, I'm lining this piece up and then I'm just going to gently flip it up and over. Like that. I'm going to hold it in place. So now I can see exactly where I can put adhesive. So let me just show you that one more time. Let me just put that glue there. I'm lining it up with the edges and the bottom and this edge over here. I'm just lining that up just like that. And then I'm just keeping it right in place and flipping it right up and over just like that. Okay. So I'm going to do that one more time, but with my glue bottle open and ready. There. Flip it up and over. And I'm just going to add some glue. There. And now, and you don't have to keep it there. It's just so that you can see, because now you're going to take it off and come back in, line it back up with all those edges again. And there is our card base. Now, if you were doing this, if you're doing this card this way, which is actually the way I first designed it. So if you're doing the card this way, this is actually the piece that's going to help your card stand. So when your card is open, it's this diagonal open front card. Okay. I have just lined that up just right. So snip that right off. Okay. Perfect. So we're going to do it this way, like so. And we are going to add a couple of little elements. And what are we doing here? All right. I have my sample card so that I can see what we're doing, like there. All right. So let's see. I'm going to use a sentiment from, so this is, I don't know if you guys have placed an order with Stampin' Up yet. The product of the month with a $75 order, you can choose a product of the month for $5. This is January's product of the month. Fabulous Sayings. I love this font. I'm actually just going to use this one down here. There are simply no words for this. I'm going to open this up. It is this stamp here. Set that aside. And then this is one of the sentiment tags that came in the kit. So I'm going to do this one. And I think for this one, let's pull in some greens. Oh, here I go. Let's pull in some greens. Let's see. I don't want to do that one. I don't really want to do garden green. Let's do, that's really more blue. Could. Now, I think I want to, so the sentiment tag is actually going to go right about here. So I am thinking, all right, let's go with the garden green. We'll go with the garden green. I made a decision. Garden green. All right, so let's just stamp that on our sentiment tag then. Loading up that ink. And I'm just going to center it over the tag and then straight down and straight up. Just like that. Okay. Oh, I'm actually not done with that yet. Well, I'm not done with it, but I am for now. So this is going to end up going here. That's there. All right. This is one of those other elements from the kit. It's actually, it's double-sided here. Like this is just half of it. And you're supposed to stamp something, you stamp your little tag in the middle of the thing. And, oh, good morning, Luann. And I'm going to do some fussy cutting. I'm not a big fan of fussy cutting for sure, but just get some of that off. I'm going to come in here a lot of this is going to be hidden anyway, this bottom part. And I'm just going to come in and just fussy cut. I should have done this part ahead of time. I'm not. I think my problem with fussy cutting, I don't know. How do you guys, are you guys like fans of fussy cutting? I think it looks cool. And you obviously have more versatility because you're not limited to just what you have for dies. All you need is a pair of scissors and an image. But I think I always try to get too close to the image and keep just the exact same border around everything. And it's okay if you don't. Like, it's okay if your border is a little bit, your white border is a little bit wider around part of the image. And I'm kind of cutting away some of that excess as I'm going, because the deeper you get into your fussy cut, the more of that excess paper, and it just gets in the way. So when I have the opportunity to get rid of some, I do. Come back up like so. Almost there, Tina, almost there. It's pretty bad. You got to give yourself a pep talk to get through some fussy cutting. Lord. I did it. I did it. Okay. There and there. So we have this now. And then this piece right here, this is, we're going to do some die cutting. So this piece right here, this came off of the rest of this card base. I'm going to use it to actually die cut some things out. And I also have this piece of petal pink that I'm going to use for some flowers. I am using the add-on dies for the paper pumpkin kit. This is the Abundant Joy dies. I'm using these ones, and I want this flower and I want these two little leaf sprigs. Get that out of the way. I'm still going to be using that. Okay, so then I want to pull in my die cutting machine like so, and I'm going to load this up. All right, I'm just going to put these on. Well, you can put them on kind of at an angle. You don't, if you can cut at an angle, then it comes out easier. All right, so I'm just going to load these. I'm going to put these two on here. I want these sprigs to be as green as possible. But when I do this, all right, so just laying out my card a little bit. So this is going to tuck into here. This is going to go on here, kind of like this. And then I'm going to be putting some leaf sprigs in here and here, and then putting some flowers on. So with this, in this position, I'm just trying to pick some colors for my leaves, my little sprigs, that are not going to blend into that. So I think just keeping them down here helps me with that. We'll do that. Actually, let's do this one all green. And we'll do this one kind of half and half, like that. And then the flower, our petal pink flower, we'll put that right there and roll this through. Like that. And I'm going to need more flowers than just the one. So just poke that flower out. It's super cute. Super cute flower. Put that right there. I'm going to need 4 of those flowers. So we're going to do that. There, so that sprig came out really fun. Put that aside. Poke this one out. Same thing, this one came out really cute. That one will go in there. And then more flowers. So I need 3 more flowers. All right, and one more after this, one more flower. Whoa. All right, move that out of the way. We don't need that in the way anymore. We have our flowers right there. Set those aside. All right, now we can come in here and start to assemble some of this card here. How are we doing on time? Plenty of time. We're doing good. Doing good. All right. One thing I want to do, I'm going to put one of these flowers, I'm going to put over here, which is technically the inside of the card. So when you open up the card, you'll be able to see that. But I want to stamp a couple of these little sprigs from the stamp set. So I'm going to turn this around this way so that I can see the placement of this. My flower is going to go right about there. I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to flip this around. So my flower goes there. I want another sprig coming out in the other direction. So somewhere right around there. Okay. Gorgeous. Now I'm done with this. I do not want to be covered in garden green today. And let's start assembling. All right. Now, the sentiment that I use, I'm going to show you another card just like this, my sample card. I used a sentiment that was just one line, so my sentiment tag is more narrow, and this is also more narrow on my sample. But I'm going to put that just about like that. I'm just going to kind of hold this together so that I can see how I want this. I want this. I'm going to just come in here and I'm going to trim up here a little bit higher because I want that to tuck over, or kind of tuck over that that sentiment tag like that. Have those two tuck over. So move that there. This is just going to kind of go there. I'm going to have a little bit of vellum showing up here and over here. I'm fine with that. I'm going to end up tucking this in here and this in here, I think. Okay. Let's do that. And I think we're just going to put this together because on my sample, and I really liked it. Oh geez, everything's fallen over. I popped this whole element up on dimensionals. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Like that. So that's sticking to that. And I'm going to center this on here. Like that. Now, if you want, actually, that would be really kind of cool. All right, I didn't do this on the last one, but let's do it on this one. I'm going to pull my trimmer back in, and I'm going to take this piece here, and where this vellum is, I'm going to just flip it over, and I'm going to put 1, maybe 2 score lines in there. when you score vellum, it just gives it a little, and you have to be careful, but it just gives it that cute little white line. I think that's kind of cute. We'll put 2. Oops. Like that. Ah, I moved it. And I'm just going very light with my scoring blade because I don't want to rip that vellum. So just, ooh, cute. Cute, cute. I like it. All right. So this piece, I'm going to tuck this in here like so, like this. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put, I'm going to hold that on using a dimensional because I'm going to be putting dimensionals on here anyway. So let's hold that on with a dimensional like that. And then we'll do the same thing with this piece here. Let's have this one coming out this way. Hold that in place and put a dimensional on that to hold that in place. So we have that. Cute, cute, cute. All right. Now we're going to pop this whole thing on dimensionals. And I'm just going to stay away from the clear part on the bottom where the vellum is. Like that. I can put, I'm actually going to, should have just cut that one. Let's use some little half pieces here. This to that, and here, like right in here, like that. And I just want to put another small quarter piece on that leaf up here. Maybe do one for this one also. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to pop this on. Isn't that cute? Oh, thank you, Luann. Yeah, I like that. I like doing little embossing of the vellum because it just makes that pop, those white lines. Okay, like that. And then we're going to put this on here. Like so. And then we're just going to pop all these flowers up on dimensionals because we can. So flip them all over. They each get their own dimensional. All right, this one is going to go right here for our inside. Then this one's going to go, well, let's put this one here. And we'll put this one here. And we'll put this one. Yeah, I'm good with that. Like so. And then we just have to throw some embellishments on. These are the embellishments that came with the kit. These little copper looking sequins. And then I'll put one here. Just grab my take your pick tool and push those down so that that little glue dot stays put. And there is our second card. Gorgeous. Love it. And you could add, like, you could add more flowers. You could add different colored flowers. You could, you know, you could tuck something down in here to make it look like it's coming out of this bottom piece if you wanted. I think it's got quite a bit going on, especially since there are so many colors in the background. So let me just pull this one back in. So this is the card this is the other card we made. So there's that one and that one. This is my sample card. So this was same thing, but using the other card base that's in the kit. And this one I didn't put on a dimensional. I just glued it flat. So there's this one right here, like that. Gorgeous. Love it. Love it. And I'm going to show you the rest of my alternates for this kit. And this is it. I'm done with this kit. Well, I have the envelopes. So I think maybe I'll do a few more of these with different colored flowers and call it the kit done. So this is the other one that I did with the plant pot. Instead of embossing the plant pot, I did, you know, just some stamping on it. Filled this thing with, there's vellum die cuts in here. There's, I had some die cuts from the Lost Lagoon paper, from the Painted Lavender. You can actually see, like, these flowers I die cut, and the leaf die cut right from the excess pieces of the card base. And then I just took this, I just split it up so that it looked like 3 different panels, and that piece was right on in the middle panel. And this one, there's nothing on the inside. This can be anything, you know, anything. This one, so this was taking the other half of one of those cards, the cards, and I had some scrap of one of the other card bases, so I just layered that over on the side and put it on this is the Lost Lagoon. I embossed the Lost Lagoon with that embossing folder that I never remember the name of. It's the one that came with the Peaceful Garden Suite. And then these die cuts are from the Greenery Lane. And I just did them in white just for simple, just a little something simple for that. And then this one here is really simple. This is that full card. So I used the full card. And then this is that one of the sentiment tags with that copper on there. And I just layered this on Secret C using that same embossing folder for the background. There's that one. And then I cut one of the card bases. So here's this one here. I cut one of the card bases in 1/4 inch strips, and just I alternated so that you can see where where the green changes levels. So I just alternated them and I cut it down. Now I did the full, the full panel. And I have the next card shows you what I did with the part that's more of the green. So I did this. So when you look at this one here, the way that the card panel is, it's the blue and then the Pretty Peacock. So there's also this half of the card base that's going to be, I'm going to show you on the next card, which is, all of these are my favorites. I love them all. I love them all. So that one is that, and I just took the word beautiful. The beautiful is from the other add-on dies. Yeah, it's across the room, so I can't get it. So I did beautiful in white and in Secret C, and layered them on top of each other. I did that same little score lines on the vellum here that's behind this, and then just kind of colored with a gold pen in between. It was white and I didn't love it white with a word on it, so I put the gold behind it. I don't know. To me, to me, you know what this looks like? This looks like just looking out a window at a scenery out there, or a jail cell with the bars. Oh, Lord. All right. This is the other one. This is the next one I did. So this is just, I took the other half of that. I used a garden green card base, and this is just an open flap here. So I just put my white cardstock on the inside. I layered my the other half of this right on top of that. Put my little fold there. Put a little Lost Lagoon flower. I edged the flower with some of that craft white ink just to give it a little more there. There is that one. And then this one here, same thing, this card base. I just took that that last piece, that last die cut. I actually cut the vine off of it, put the two here. I used the little slot punch, and I put the ribbon on there to, you know, kind of tie it together. And I tucked the painted lavender sprigs in there. And then I just took the pieces from here and I trimmed them down and just made little arcs from one to another. Love it all. Thank you, Luann. So sweet. That one there. And then you guys, Valentine's Day is coming. So of course I had to do something for Valentine's Day. So I did these two. I'm going to pull them in at the same time. So I did these two. You make me feel loved. So these two are both same exact process that I used for these. I used the negative space for this die cut piece here. I put the oval vellum behind it and I stamped on the vellum. You Make Me Feel. That's out of the stamp set. Now it says You Make Me Feel Loved. The stamp does. I didn't want that whole thing on there. So You Make Me Feel. I put a piece of white cardstock behind this one, behind the negative, but I stamped the little sprigs behind there. And then I put my designer series paper on, popped this up on dimensionals. So it's got a little bit of dimension. Put the words in the color that matches the design series paper. So this one is the Cherry Cobbler, and this one is the Poppy Parade. Gorge, love them. I love gorgeous. So that's all of those. So right now I have 28 cards. I think I got 28 cards, all alternates. Well, I have 26. Dad still has the 2 he made, so 28 total there. All right, let me flip back to the camera, my camera, so I can say goodbye, because we ran just a little over time, but not too bad. So I hope that you all loved these cards. I love the diagonal open front card. It's super easy, but what an impactful card. Like just makes it look like you spent a lot more time doing it than you really did for a wow. And yeah, so this kit's done. Yay, this kit's done. I will be back next Sunday with another card, maybe from the new paper pumpkin, and I don't know, maybe not. So my husband and I are actually going on vacation this week. We are going down to visit some friends of ours in Florida. So we have some nice warm weather, I hope, when we get down there. So but I will be back in time to do a video next Sunday. So I hope that you all have a great week, and I hope that you come back next Sunday and hang out with me again. Until then, bye.